Good evening and welcome to tonight's Paper 3 AQA GCSE Geography live stream. And we've got 16 people already in the chat. Say hello to us if you're in the chat. Let's have a look who has joined us for tonight's Paper 3. Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m, Paper 3 AQA GCSE Geography. And this live stream is about getting you feeling confident and ready to smash that Paper 3. I do love this year's Paper 3 theme, the Lincolnshire Reservoir. We're going to have a little look at the booklet. We're going to look at predicted questions and get you feeling 100% ready. Right, let's have a little look who is here, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Who was the first in the chat? At 2:17. Can't wait. 2:17. Wow, this afternoon. Good to see you, Cheyenne. Let's have a look who else is here. No thoughts, all vibes. Yo, yo, yo. Mod, thank you so much for joining us on tonight's live stream. I appreciate you being here. Yeah, say hello to us. Let us know who's here. I deserve to be mod. I've been waiting 3 hours. Absolutely. Maybe in the future. Are you 18? Let me know. Maybe we could upgrade you to be the moderator. I've been waiting since last year. All right. Okay. Yes. Thank you so much. I think we got some people back from last year. Everyone's saying hello. Thanks for the flames. Sir, where are you showing? Oh, yeah, I like to build up the anticipation. I like to wait a couple of minutes just to get the crowd going. Where's bro? I think that's, I don't know who that is. Is that me? I don't know. Guys, how did you get on in maths? Yeah, let us know how you got on in maths. So hard. Maths was all right. And Excel was too difficult. Well, we're on AQA tomorrow, so that's good. Maybe AQA is going to be very nice and give us a lovely Paper 3 exam tomorrow. We are hoping. 68 out of 80 already. Obviously worked out how many he's got right. Very good. Thank goodness I do AQA. Yes. I like the paper. Agreed. No, maths was too easy. Too easy. Never thought that about maths. Do you do higher? Yeah, lots of chat about maths. Where is Sir? I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Don't panic. Sir's gone to the toilet. No, I go to, no, not at all. I'm just building up the anticipation for tonight's live stream, getting you all excited. Yeah, lots of chats about maths. Right, genuinely, I hope you've done really well in your maths exams today. And I know, obviously, the next big one is geography. How have the geography ones gone so far? Have they gone well? Let us know. How did Paper 1 geography go? How did Paper 2 geography go? Are you building on your grade with Paper 3, or are you trying to fix your grade because you've had a terrible Paper 1 or Paper 2? So what does Paper 3 mean to you? I've been waiting since 3. Fair play. Multiplier effect and multiplier effect. Yeah, you can use that again in Paper 3 if you're talking about the impact, that kind of tourism. This reservoir creates a lot of tourism, which then will create jobs and inward investment. And multiplier effect. We'll get onto that. But yeah, multiplier effect, great little theme. You can always fit it into human aspects of geography. Hello, everyone's saying hello. Thank you very much for saying hello, guys. Good to have you here. Hi. Geography went well. That's what we like to hear. Geography papers are amazing. Right. So a lot of you sound like you're building on your grades. You're not worried about your grades so far. You're building. It was good. Paper 2 was great. It went very good. How long is this live? It's only just started. I'm going to do an hour. I plan to do 1 hour. And then if people want me to stay on, I will. If people don't, then I'll let you go. Obviously, you can stay as long as you want. You're welcome to stay as long as you want. Paper 1 was good. Paper 2 was a little bit wobbly. Yeah, often happens. Jamaica was such a good question. Yeah, I agree. Great. We predicted that here on the channel. We predicted tourism on Paper 2. Thanks for the hearts as well, guys. I appreciate that. Trying to fix because Paper 2 was a little bit trickier. Yeah. Well, whatever reason you're here for. Longer. You want me to do longer? Oh, my God. We'll see how we get on. But thank you for the love, guys. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed, and hit that share button, and it'll push it out to other YouTubers, other geographers on YouTube tonight. Okay, Now, here it is, the Lincolnshire Reservoir. I am going to share my screen in a minute. I think this year you've got an absolutely fantastic decision-making paper. I love it. I think it's very topical. It's very synoptical. Lots of different themes in there, and we're going to unpick them today. It is a live stream, so get yourself involved in the chat. Put your answers in the chat as well. So here we go. Paper 3. What do we know about it already? It's going to be 1 hour, 30 minutes. There are 5 questions, 5 sections, as it were. Question 1 will be about figure 1, pages 2 and 3 in the booklet. So I think that's where we start, guys. I think we start with questions around figure 1. I'm just going to share my screen now. I'll go to the booklet here. Hopefully this is all working well. So let me just make that a little bit bigger on my screen. How's that looking on yours? Let's have a look. Is that cropped off? Let's have a little look. Yeah, I think we can go with that, can't we? Okay, so questions 1, 2, and 3 are based on the pre-release booklet. As I've already said, I absolutely love this this booklet and this decision around a Lincolnshire reservoir. So let's have a little look. Figure 1 basically outlines the reasons why we have water insecurity in the UK, why there's a need for a reservoir here in the UK. We haven't built a reservoir for about 20 years, and all of the sources on these 2 pages point to the challenges that we're facing with water. So here is the first section. In the chat, what are the 2 sources of water in the UK? Where does the UK get its water supply from? Hit us up in the chat. Let's see who's got this one. What are the 2 sources of water in the UK? Let's see who's on the quickest fire. Yeah, absolutely. So I'll just try and highlight that as well. So we have, let me just zoom out a little bit. Yep, groundwater. Maybe just undo that. I need to do the highlight. Hey guys, here we go. Just learning some new skills here. So we've got groundwater, well done. And we have surface water. Yeah, they're the 2 main areas that are sources of water. Surface water accounts for 64% of our supply of water, and groundwater accounts for a significant amount in Scotland in particular, as well, as you can see there. Right, next challenge. Using the map of annual rainfall here, as you can see, describe the distribution of rainfall. Okay, so whereabouts is the rainfall? Refer to places, areas, countries. Use the key. Yep, so I'm just going to highlight down here. Yeah, use the key. Describe the distribution of rainfall, annual average rainfall in the UK. This is a predicted question. Where is it wetter and where is it drier in the UK? The north, correct? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we got the north. I'm just looking at the comments here. Whereabouts is it the rainfall is higher? So we believe that there could be a question that says, describe the distribution of rainfall in the UK. Yeah, it's wetter in the north and west. Well done. Over 200 millimeters in 2000. I think that's a typo there. Yeah, over 2,000 millimeters in the north and west. Higher rainfalls on the west of the UK. Over 1,000. Those people that are using the numbers, way better answers. The examiner is going to love the fact that you've used the key. Dry in the southeast. Yeah, how much rainfall in the southeast is there? Northwest has more rainfall, and the northwest, yeah, good. Areas of the northwest of surplus. Well done. Navita, love that. Water surplus in the northwest of Scotland, the northwest of England, and West Wales. Surplus over 2,000 millimeters of rainfall on average. Ireland got no way off. Okay, yeah. Ireland is no data. Okay, it's not that there's no rain. There's plenty of rain in the Republic of Ireland. Yeah, this area here does have plenty of rainfall, but it has no data because it's not part of the UK. Yeah, so I think we're pretty good here. Long story short is that northwest Scotland, let's just pick these areas out here. Northwest Scotland, Northern England, and Western England and Western Wales have high levels of rainfall, over 1,500 to 2,000 millimetres of rainfall. And over in the south and east, where most people live, we have water deficit, okay? Lack of water under 800 millimetres, and therefore there is a need to transfer water in the UK from areas in the west and the north towards the south and the east of the UK. So there is a need for that, and there is obviously a shortage of water in areas that are needed. Okay, let's move on to the next figure. Let's see what's going on with this one. I'll just get rid of that for a second. Annotations. Okay, so we think that you're going to get a question about effective rainfall. Like, what is effective rainfall? Really, probably a question that you might be getting. What is effective rainfall? So effective rainfall is the water that's evaporated and used by plants. Wait a minute, let me just undo that, sorry. Undo. So water companies call effective rainfall the water that's left over because it's available for water supply. Okay, so effective rainfall is the water that you have available to you for your industry, for your domestic, for your agriculture. It's water minus evaporation minus plant uptake. So it's the water available, rainfall minus evaporation minus plant uptake. Okay, so we do think there might be a little 1 or 2 mark question based on effective rainfall. Okay, right, here's the challenging one. Okay, so in the chat, guys, this is called a water balance, the water balance of the UK. Let's go for fastest finger in the chat. Which months do we have a water surplus? Which months of the year do we have a water surplus? Look at the blue line. When the blue line is higher than, when rainfall is higher than evaporation, we have a water surplus. Which months do we have a water surplus? Excellent, guys. November, January to March. January, superb. Yeah. January, fantastic, yeah. Well done, guys. So any of the months where, let me just highlight it. So any of the months where the rainfall is greater than, where the rainfall is greater than the evaporation. So those months there are the water surplus months. This is when our reservoir will be charged with water. This is when it will fill up, ready to be used. Okay, which months do we have a water deficit? Which months of the year do we have a water deficit? Hit us up in the chat. Let's see if you can read this. Which months do we have a water deficit? Well done. Well done to Ake and Jeanette. Yeah, May, April to September. Amelia, well done. Ariane, well done. Cheyenne, well done. You guys are awesome. Sadu, June, July. Yes. So evaporation, when it's sunny and it's hotter, is greater in April to August. So our reservoir will help to plug that gap. So basically, we could use the reservoir in the summer months for a water supply when we are in deficit, when we are short of water. So this kind of water balance shows us that not only have we got water in the wrong areas of the UK, which is the previous source up here, yeah, water is in the wrong area. We've also got a water budget that shows that we've got a dry summer and therefore we're going to need more water. Okay, over this side of the table, we've got which areas of which times of day we're going to need more water, and you can see that in the summer months, here, we can see that we've got in the evenings a higher deficit of water, and we're going to need more water. So basically, we're going to need a reservoir. Okay, a reservoir in the southeast will mean that we can meet the demands for water in those drier summer months when there's a deficit, and in the evenings when we need to use more water for watering gardens, washing cars, things like that is what we use it for. So which areas, which areas of the UK are going to see the biggest increase in water demand? Using this figure here at the bottom, which areas are we going to need more water in the future? Hit us up in the chat, guys. Oh, Amelia, very quick. Cheyenne, yeah. West, southeast, 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 yeah. Southeast. Amazing, guys. Yeah. And you're absolutely spot on. 50% increase in the amount of water by 2050. And that's for two reasons. It's probably because of migration and population rise in the southeast, in particular London. Higher populations mean that we need more water in our domestic use, so housing. Housing's expanding. We're building new housing developments, especially in the southeast, to meet the rising population. So we're going to need more water. Again, the source here talks about that they're going to need about 4 billion litres of water by 2050. So this whole page effectively talks about challenges with our water. Our water's not in the areas where the population's rising. It's certainly not in the areas where there is greatest demand, which is the southeast of England. And we don't have enough in summer. Yeah, they're talking about the summer months here. There's deficit in the summer, especially in summer evenings, as we can see by this source. Okay, so that's the sort of questions we think we're going to get on that particular page. Let's move on to our next page here. Just going to scroll down and zoom in here. Okay, so challenges. This whole page is about challenges of meeting the UK's water security, and obviously climate change is a huge factor. May half term was the hottest May on record. We got to 35 degrees here in the UK, in Kew Gardens in southeast England. And climate change is increasing the risk of droughts. It's increasing the risk of water shortages. So the kind of key things from this source are, it's become a bigger problem over the next 20 or so years. We're going to need more water. As you can see by the image, we've got water deficit. These reservoirs are very empty and very low. So we need to be storing water from the winter in our reservoirs so that we can use it in the summer months. Really good fact on this one is that there is going to be a 7% decrease in water supply by 2045 because of a warmer and drier climate. If things get drier, we definitely need this reservoir. This reservoir will help to provide us with water in those drier summer months between April and September. What's really worrying here is that we are twice as more likely to get a drought in the future because of increased climate change. So this source is saying, let's invest in our water infrastructure and let's build a reservoir. Okay, then we've got the Environment Agency, which is really interesting. They kind of flip the coin and focus on other areas rather than the reservoir. So can you give me 2 points that the Environment Agency are saying about water, challenges of water in the UK? What 2 points are being made by the Environment Agency about water in the UK? Hit us up in the chat, guys. Just let us know. Are you guys going for or against? Nothing for. Oh, we're going to come to that, guys. We're going to have a little vote, hopefully, and see where we're up to. Yeah, what are the Environment Agencies saying? This is really interesting part of the booklet. Yeah, we need to use less water. We need to be more efficient. We need to focus on other things like pollution management. Yeah, we fix the leakage. Yeah. So up to this point in the booklet, clearly there is a push on building this reservoir, and there is a need for more water, especially in that southeast region. But the Environment Agency kind of gets thinking that the reservoir is potentially not the answer. Maybe we need to focus more on sustainability of our existing supplies. Maybe we just need to be more conscientious with the water that we've got. So just picking out a few points, the UK on average uses 140 litres per person per day. They kind of argue that that's quite wasteful, that we're not managing our water supplies effectively. We need to get smarter and we need to get definitely more sustainable. Okay, Sorry, I'm writing that with my hand, but the word sustainable has to be in this DME, okay? Meeting the needs of the future. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to reduce water consumption to 100 litres in the next 20 years. Now, if you build a reservoir and you increase availability of water, you're probably going to increase the consumption. If you give humans more of something, they're probably going to use more of it. So the reservoir probably is not going to reduce our consumption. We need to use less water. Yeah, we need to be sustainable. We need to use it more efficiently. We need to reduce the amount of pollution of our waters. We've had huge sewage scandals in the UK where sewage has been dumped into pretty much all rivers in the UK, and it's not been managed by the Environment Agency or the government effectively. We're destroying our own water supplies. So yeah, I like the Environment Agency point. If you are anti-reservoir, then I would use some of those points as your arguments. Okay, absolutely. Okay, let's go down to the last question, the last area of this source here. Let's go off here. Water pollution. Okay, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about this. What is the cause of water pollution in the UK? What is the cause of water pollution in the UK rivers? And what are the patterns and trends in that data? So kind of two questions. Hit us up in the chat, guys. What are the causes of water pollution in the UK? Yes, it's coming through on the chat. Excellent, guys. Thank you for joining the live stream. If you've just jumped in, like, subscribe, share. And yeah, we're doing some live practice on potential questions here. Getting you feeling good about paper 3 ready for tomorrow. So just picking out some key things, guys. Well done to Cheyenne, Jeanette, Ariane in the chat. Well done. Navita. Yes. Littering as well. Yeah, lots of things. So here we can see. So water pollution incidents have increased. It's become more serious, as you can see. Oh, maybe change my colour here, actually. Yeah, well, it's become more serious. It's been described as a major problem of water security here in the UK. And then down here, we can see that it is illegal dumping. So this could be the sewage scandal, water companies pumping in, millions of tons of sewage over a significant period of time, 5-10 year period. Untreated sewage, and then agricultural runoff. So things from farmers' fields, pesticides, fertilizers, and things like that, that can lead to things like eutrophication of water supplies as well. So if you build a reservoir, that is not going to fix this problem. You're still going to have water pollution of rivers. So maybe the reservoir, if you're anti-reservoir, you could argue that water pollution will not be addressed by the reservoir. Maybe other solutions we can look at as a counter argument. But yeah, what are the trends in the data of water pollution? Well, there is no clear pattern. I would say it fluctuates. Okay, I would say it fluctuates. Sorry, I'm writing that with my finger on my screen. It fluctuates. It goes up and down. And I think it's probably linked to rainfall levels. So when rainfall is high, so when you have high rainfall and flooding events, you tend to have higher levels of pollution incidents. So potentially there could be a link between high rainfall averages in a year and water pollution rates as well. So that is figure 1, question 1. Oops, figure 1, question 1. We've looked at the problems and challenges of water, and that might be the 6-mark question. What are the challenges the UK faces with meeting its water demands or meeting its water security? And you can talk about all of these issues about distribution, about demand and the time of year. You can talk about the population rise, climate and pollution levels. Okay. Thank you to the people that have liked and subscribed. Love you guys. Appreciate that. Okay, right, let's move on to page 4. So question 2 tomorrow will be based on page 4 of the resource. Here we go. Let's have a little look at this. So the UK has the highest water usage in Europe. We use more water than many other European countries. Why? Hit us up in the chat, guys. Using this source, what are we using that water for, and why is the UK using so much water? Worst page, probably. I actually like this page. If you are anti-reservoir, if you're against the reservoir, there's some really smart arguments on this page. Yeah, high population, rapid growing population, increased migration to the UK, housing development. Well done. What are we? Yes, leaving taps running. Yes, very wasteful. This kind of portrays us as quite a wasteful society. Yes, household appliances, water dependent appliances. Yeah, absolutely, Cody. So let's just pick out some of the bits that you've mentioned. Yeah, we have the highest consumption. Let's just go there. We've got the highest consumption of water in Europe. As you can see here, leaving taps on whilst brushing your teeth, long showers, baths, maybe water in the garden, we're to blame. Flushing toilets, all of these in the table here. Personal washing devices and things like that, washing machines, dishwashers, hot tubs. There's a clear link between wealth and water consumption. Wealthier countries use and consume more water generally. So at the moment in the UK, we use 140 litres each of us on this live stream per day. And there's a target of getting that down to 110 litres by 2050 and 122 litres by 2038. So how can we reduce our water consumption? So let's go down to this one here. This kind of presents the argument that we don't need a reservoir because we can address the water shortage using technology. So technology and conservation and sustainability will help us meet our water demand. So let's just pose a 6-mark question. What opportunities are there for sustainable strategies to meet the UK's water demand? What sustainable strategies, hit us up in the chat, can we use? It looks like some of you already preempted this. Yeah, what sustainable strategies can we use to close our water gap, to provide more water to people that need it in the UK without building a reservoir? What can we do here? So you're going to use these 2 sources here. They all address kind of sustainability of water supplies. What can we do to address these gaps? Well done, guys. Thanks for joining us. If you have jumped on the live stream, join the chat, guys. This is live revision. Everything can go wrong on live revision, as you know. Dual flush toilets. Yeah, every new house development in the UK now has dual flush toilets. Just to save water. 3 litres and 7 litres, roughly, is the difference between the flush buttons. Yeah, grey water, massive. Geographers, AQA love grey water recycling. Using water from your washing up, filter it, and use it to flush toilets. Yeah, recycling water, basically, reusing grey water. We need to see more of those systems in the UK. Reduce population. Oh, that's a drastic one. Manage population, possibly. Yeah. I mean, you're going down the lines of like a one-child policy, and I wouldn't really go down that line. I never knew there was a link between the figures with others. Oh, yeah, there's a very much of the link, yeah. Building more water-efficient homes. Absolutely, Sophie, yeah. Building regulations on new developments, new offices, new homes. Let's think about water-efficient appliances, dual flush toilets, grey water recycling, rainwater harvesting, collecting the water on the roof. Do we really need this reservoir? If we think and use technology and think sustainably, maybe we can plug that gap with these things. Desalination is mentioned. Oh, yeah, desalination is mentioned as well. So there's lots here, guys. The sustainable argument. Yeah, grey water recycling, dual flush toilets. Yeah, there's lots of good stuff here. There might be a 6 marker on sustainability of water. How can you manage water sustainably? This is your page. Yeah, this is your page, guys. One thing that I would like to draw your attention to, just keep taps running, dual flush toilet. You're all amazing. This is brilliant stuff, guys. Rainwater harvesting. Yeah, absolutely. Stop airing me, please. I don't even know what that means, airing me. I don't know what it means. Ignoring you. Does it mean no ignoring? Does it mean ignoring? I'm not ignoring you. I promise. I promise. There's lots of people in the chat. I promise I'm not ignoring you. So one thing I'd like to draw your attention to is, in this particular point, is the leakage issue. So the UK and water companies in the UK, such as Anglican Water, they lose 3 billion litres of water through leakage, which is absolutely incredible. So one of the arguments that you could say is that we could be addressing that problem, fixing leaks and trying to address the leakages within the infrastructure, modernize the existing infrastructure, fix the leaks. And again, you may not need this reservoir as a way of meeting the future water demands. I think actually, in terms of calculations, if you fix the leaks, that's greater than the amount of water that the reservoir can provide. So that's really interesting, isn't it? Yeah, if you fix the leaks, then you don't need to build the reservoir. I think a big argument really is to reduce water pollution so that we've got more sources of water available. I do love this source. Yeah. And maybe reservoirs is just one part of an holistic approach to managing water. Okay. So maybe a reservoir and other strategies as well. Okay. Right. So we've looked at the problems. We've looked at a lot of sustainability there, actually. Sustainability of water management. Oops, sorry, I'm just highlighting loads of stuff there. Let's go to the next bit here. So what they're suggesting is a brand new reservoir, as you know. Yeah, you all know. A reservoir is a man-made lake designed to store drinking water, water for irrigation and agriculture and industry. They're very good for the economy. Yeah. The more water you have, generally that's good for the economy because you can use it in your industry, you can use it to irrigate your farms and have crops, higher crop yields and all that sort of stuff. So it's a positive. So let's have a little look at this one. Anglican Water is a private water company. They're going to build a reservoir to make money, to sell water to customers like you and I, homes, domestic use, and industries. So they are purely a profit-driven company. They're wanting to secure water supplies to sell to anybody who wants to buy their water. A farmer, industry, and a housing domestic consumer. So they want to build a reservoir on the southeast of Sleaford. Interestingly, they're building over 175,000 homes in the next 5 years. We need the reservoir to provide water for those new homes. In fact, the reservoir will provide enough water for 500,000 homes. So it's going to provide water for about 500,000 homes, which is amazing. A really effective way of plugging that water gap. So let's go down to the map. I love an OS map. You are going to get some questions about OS maps. It's inevitable. So let's see how things are sitting here on the OS map. I want to say, first of all, can you give me 2 reasons why this site is an effective site to locate a reservoir? Why is this an effective site, a good site for a reservoir? What are the positives? Here's up in the chat, guys. What are the positives for the location of the reservoir site here? Excited to leave. I'm cooked. You're not cooked. You're in the right place. I do love that phrase. Good luck with the exams tomorrow, guys. Yeah, thanks, Mod. Okay. Yeah, why is this a good potential site for a reservoir. I'm actually going to say this. I do think they've thought carefully about the location of this reservoir. I do think it's a very positive site for a reservoir. It's kind of quite difficult to argue not. There's a lot of love in the chat there. Yeah, so let's have a look. Less farms. It's flat. It's big. It's near a town. It's in the south. Well, it's in the east of England. It's in Lincolnshire, which is one of the driest areas of the UK. So it's in a dry area. It's near to the southeast. It's near to London and Peterborough and all those sort of areas that need the water, where the 50% demand is. Let's have a look. So first of all, it is flat. Yeah, there's very little contour lines in this area. So if you are trying to store water, yeah, you can see these orange contour lines. There's very few of them. It's a flat area of land. Okay. Knox, really good point. There is a lot of river systems here, as you can see. I'm just highlighting them in blue. There's a lot of river systems that are close by that can help to provide water to the reservoir. Okay, can help to fill the reservoir up. Most of the water for this reservoir is going to come from the Trent. So technically, it's kind of like a water transfer scheme alongside a reservoir project. So the second point is it's close to rivers, a river network to help to manage the levels of water in the reservoir, which is fantastic. Yeah, it's flat. There isn't much urbanization going on inside. So you've got a few farms here. I think it's 50 families. Yeah, 50 families will be displaced. Now, that is pretty bad. Obviously, you're having to move house. You're having to sell your house. Your kids have to move school. You might have to move jobs. It's not nice, is it? And obviously, people losing their farms, they're losing their livelihoods. They're losing their land. They're losing everything, their business. It's a massive impact. But let's be honest, there isn't a great deal of people living in that site, and that's a positive. Yeah, you're not going to disrupt too much there. What else have we got? It doesn't say this so much in the booklet. This is impermeable geology. So the geology underneath is impermeable. The water of the reservoir will not soak away, because that would be a bit crazy. Yeah. Other positives of the site. Okay. All right. What are the negatives of this site then? What are the negatives of the site? Potentially could be a question. Discuss the positives and negatives, or evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of the proposed site. How many people are 50 families are going to be displaced. Power lines, well spotted. There are some power lines there, yeah. Well spotted. You are going to have to relocate these power lines. That means you're going to have to cut the electricity off and redirect it. What's the impact of that? We don't know. That's something to question, isn't it? Yeah, Rose Farm and Poplar Farm, definitely mention those two. These are farms that are going to be impacted by the reservoir. They'll have to relocate. 50 families. Yeah, well done, guys. Ecosystems, yeah. There is woodland down here. You can see a little bit of woodland at the bottom here. Obviously, you've got hedgerows, you've got fields. You're going to have a lot of habitat space as well. Well done. Road construction here. There is a road here. There's a B road up here that connects two villages of Helpringham and Screddington. And yeah, they will be disrupted. The connections between those roads will be disrupted as well, which is significant. Yeah, they're kind of the main issues that you've got there. So I'm just going to take away some of these things here. Okay, another question we think we might have is, what is the area of the reservoir site? What is the area, the calculated area of the proposed reservoir site? Hit us up in the chat, guys. How big is the proposed reservoir site? Hedges, yeah. Flooding, yeah. Molly Moo, yes. 9. Some people got 11, 8, 9. Molly's gone 9. Yeah. You've got to count the boxes roughly. So how many full boxes would you be able to get? No. Yeah, not 6, 7 now. So in the geography chat, we believe it is about 9 kilometers to 9.5. So 9 to 9.5 kilometers are possible sizes for the reservoir. Some people really don't know. They're just putting every number in. Okay. 9 to 9.5 kilometers. Okay. Right. Let's just go for one more, a little bit of a skills one. Can you give me a 6-figure grid reference for, let's go for Poplar Farm there. One of the farms is going to have to be relocated. Can you give me a 6-figure grid reference for Poplar Farm? Hit us up in the chat. Oh, very good. Excellent. So we're looking at around about, I think most of you got it right actually, 11.5. Yeah, roughly 11.5. 40, I would say 6. Yeah. So 11.5, 46 or 11.5, 45, something like that would be a correct answer. Well done, guys. They do let you have a little bit of leeway. That would be good. Let's see if we can do a few more skills. Let's go for, what is the height of land on the site of the reservoir? What is the height of land for the site of the reservoir? Can you, let's zoom in a bit more there. What is the height of land for the site of the reservoir? Just another little skill that we can have a little look at. Yeah, thanks for the love, guys. We're just doing a bit of practice of map skills on the pre-release booklet. Okay, so yeah, most people are saying 10 meters. We've got a little bit of a clue. Let's have a look at some of the clues. So we've got 22 meters here and 13 meters and 10 meters here. And then we've got 9 meters there. So anything between kind of 9 meters to 22 meters above sea level. Yeah. So that's the height of the land in the particular area. So it's very close to sea level. It's very flat. It's almost the perfect site. You can't argue really that the site is not a great place for a reservoir. I think they've carefully selected it very well. So let's move on then. Let's have a little look. So that's question 2 of the exam. Question 2 is going to be based on it's going to be based on the map skills, Anglican Water, the private water company, pitching their ideas and things like sustainable water management. You might be asked to draw a pie chart actually. Obviously with this percentage data here, they might ask you to finish off a pie chart or draw a pie chart for this data. That does look very likely as a possible skill that you might be asked there. Okay. So let's move on to the final section, figure 3. Let's have a little look here. Now, I absolutely love the idea of this reservoir. It does look fantastic. This little source here, page 6. If you are going to develop the reservoir, if you are pro reservoir, this is your page, guys. It's full of great reasons why you might need to build it. Let's have a quick look at some of the key points here. So why should we build a reservoir? As we've said, we've got rising demand from our growing population. We've got decrease in water availability because of climate changes. We should conserve more water, reduce leaks. And here is the artist's impression of the reservoir. Okay, this is not just a reservoir. It's a multi-use facility. It's a multi-use development. Okay, maybe I should write that down. Multi-use development. So you're not getting just a reservoir, you're getting a multi-use development. Okay, that is a geographical term. Sorry, I'm writing that with my finger on my touch screen. So it's a multi-use development, and we know that it's probably going to be finished by, in fact, hit us up in the chat. Do you know when this project is supposed to be completed by, if it gets planning permission? At the moment, it's still in the planning permission phase. When is it expected to be completed by? Chelsea, all over this at the moment. Well done, Chelsea. Looks nice. It does look nice, doesn't it? Imagine you going there, walking your dog and, you know, going for a little cycle round, walk round, maybe sailing. Yeah. Yeah, well done, guys. 2050, lots of dates here. So 2040 is the correct answer. Again, that's quite a long time into the future. So you are thinking about the future, your future planning. 2040 is the estimated completion date for the reservoir, okay? With a 10-year roughly construction phase. So again, this is going to have a huge impact on the local communities of Helpringham and the area. So 2040. Okay, let's have a little look then. So it's going to help out with taking water from other nearby rivers, such as the River Trent, which might reduce flooding actually in other areas. If you're taking water from the Trent, that could be good as well. So absolutely all in favour there of the reservoir. Oh, sorry, guys. So let's scroll down a little bit. Go back to him. I'm just going to scroll down. This bit here, guys, is the main reasons why you should build the reservoir. Okay, the blue box is fantastic. It tells you exactly why this reservoir is going to be great. Let's have a quick look. Holds 55 million litres of cubic meters of water in the actual reservoir as a storage. And it's going to provide 166 million litres of water per day for 500,000 homes. And those that spend is going to help to promote direct investment. Okay, if I'm pro reservoir, I am definitely mentioning that one there. Anything that's going to bring more spending, more money to the area, it's going to develop the economy of the area. It might trigger the multiplier effect, more jobs and more spending. This is a fantastic argument to why you should build it. Yeah, the multiplier effect is a fantastic argument to why you might want to build that. Okay, as we can see at the bottom, it's got lots of social sustainability positives. It's going to bring about cycling, windsurfing, sailing, walking, all good for well-being, mental well-being, physical activity. If you're into your sport, it just looks fantastic. And not many people mention it, but it's also got, in terms of social sustainability, an education centre as well. An education centre there, which is fantastic. As part of its development, a visitor centre. So it's going to be fantastic for tourism and promoting spending in the economy. So lots of positives there on that page. So hit us up in the chat, guys. Let's go for this. What do you think are the two main advantages of building the reservoir? What are your two strongest arguments for building the reservoir? Hit us up in the chat. What are your two strongest arguments for developing the reservoir? Let's try and catch up with the chat. You guys, yeah. So geography is just one paper. It's all grades 1 to 9. So you can get a grade 9 tomorrow if you know your decision and you've read your booklet and you can argue geographically the social, economic, and environmental positives of the reservoir. So let's have a little look. Jobs, yeah, multiplier effect brings in economic. Yeah, definitely. Well done, Chelsea. Water stress is reduced. I like that, Joe. Water stress is reduced. Economic investment. Joe, that's a really good way to approach it. Very sophisticated approach. Because there you've got social benefit of reducing water stress and economic investment. Good. Lots of social economic opportunities. Improved water security. That's a good one, Danya. The main reason why is we have a water security issue in the UK. We have a water gap between the north and south. It will address that issue. That's a really strong argument. Multiplier effect, love, love, love. Yeah, job creation, increased investment, more spending from tourism, creates more wealth in the area, improves the infrastructure, education, healthcare services, all that good stuff. Improves quality of life, excellent. Yeah. Social sustainability, walking, exercise. We're going to be fitter. We're going to be healthier. We're going to live longer. We're going to have better mental health. The locals can use this on their doorstep. Great facility. Increase life expectancy, attract new business, further investment. These are guys, you are on it. Less fantastic supply. 500,000 homes will be provided with water. Prevents water deficit. Honestly, guys, that is amazing. Okay, lots of arguments there for the reservoir. Okay, what are the arguments against the reservoir? Okay, let's have a go at that one. What do you think are your two strongest arguments not to develop this reservoir? Just remember about the positives. I do think the site does yield many positives. Remember, the site is quite a positive site that's being proposed. We talked about that previously. Check out the early parts of the live stream. What are your two strongest arguments to oppose this reservoir? Winning the world. It's too expensive. How much does it cost? Genuinely, how much does it cost? It doesn't say. Obviously, I don't know if they've calculated it. Can somebody like Mod, can you try and find out how much this project is estimated to cost? It doesn't say. I'd be interested to know. Yeah, can someone find out the cost of the Lincolnshire reservoir proposal? Okay, a lot of social geography views here. Yeah, displaced families, impact on the family moving, relocation, compulsory purchase of the properties. They might not get the value that the house is worth and the land is worth. And no one likes moving house is a big stressful thing. Yeah, let's have empathy for these people. I think it's really difficult for them. Farming. Yeah, you're going to lose farmland, which means you're going to have less food grown. You're going to increase maybe food insecurity. You might increase food prices. I know it's only a kind of 9 kilometre squared area, but this is prime agricultural land. Lincolnshire is known for prime agricultural land, fertile soils, highly productive yields. This is a big one. You are going to impact farming and food production. Noise in the construction, yeah, absolutely. Well done, Chelsea. When you're building this, lorries on the road, increased accidents, building the development, building the embankment. You've got to build an embankment all the way around a raised bank. A lot of construction work, a lot of noise, dust. Yeah, well done, Navita. I love wildlife. I love plants and animals. We're going to have a massive impact on hedgerows, kind of river ecosystems, because you're going to take water from rivers. What's that going to do to the ecosystems in our rivers? We don't know, do we? You're going to impact on food change. You might cause species to become in decline. Trees as well, not just animals. Loss of biodiversity, yeah, massive. Loss of culture, interesting. I mean, you are going to divide the villages up because the road's been taken away. So they're going to become a bit more segregated, arguably. And more people are going to come in from outside, like visitors, which will dilute culture. That's a smart one, Nabil. I didn't think of that. The identity, the unique rural identity of those villages could be lost a little bit because of the tourism. Yeah, farming, families, £5 billion. Chelsea, £5 billion. So that's a hell of a lot of money. Is that right? 5 billion. 9. Yeah. So we think people saying 5 billion, 6.7 million. 5 billion. Yeah, the cost is a bit. Obviously, they haven't really costed it up yet, but it is going to be expensive, isn't it? Okay, it is expensive. It's an example of hard engineering approach. So it's going to be expensive and disruptive. Cost 6.9 billion. Yeah. So it's very expensive. So just thinking now, because I've only just learnt the price, value for money, cost benefit analysis. We're going to get 3 billion back in investment, but we're going to put 6 billion out. Yeah. Difficult one. And also to pay for this, the company is going to have to get that money back from bill payers. So this might put water prices up, not down, because they need to pay for it. So yeah, it may be increased water bill prices as well to the consumer. Loss of habitat, tourism, carbon emissions, absolutely, because of vehicles that are doing it, probably concrete in the construction. All right, I think we've nailed this, guys. Absolutely. Okay, so in your decision, you have to talk about stakeholders. You have to talk about people. So let's go with that bit now. Which people are against the development of this reservoir? Which groups of people are against the development of this reservoir? Hit us up in the chat. Yeah, it doesn't say the cost in the booklet. People are just trying to work it out by researching it. Who is against the development of this project? Me. Me. Environmentalists. Yeah, probably. Very much so. Locals. Local farmers. Yeah. Council, farmers, locals. Yeah, I'm just thinking here about scale. I'm just going to go down to this now. Okay. So a clever argument really is that the impacts are local, but the benefits are national. Think about that. So the local people are going to pay a high price for this reservoir, but generally the country as a whole, especially the southeast of England, they're going to really benefit. Yeah, they're going to have increased water security, more water available. So local impacts for national benefit, you could argue. But you're right, locals are very much against it, according to the booklet. We've got 2,000 people locally have petitioned to sign to say that they're against it. Local people are concerned about the 50 families. That's really important. They're going to lose their homes. Local businesses will suffer because they'll have to close roads to build this. They'll have to have, the electricity supply has to be moved. That might affect the businesses as well. So people might lose their jobs locally. Yeah, the local residents, you can clearly see, are not on board with this. Most of them are not on board with this at all. Roads closed, congestion, accidents, narrow country lanes, yeah, traffic, absolutely. Okay, so that's the group who are pretty much against. Also, we've got our local farmers, Poplar Farm, yeah, on the map, and we've got Rose Farm on the map. Yeah, those families that are farming are very much, again, are against the reservoir. It will devastate the local community. It will cause farming to, be impacted, lack of investment, and local businesses. What they local people want is encouraging the use of grey water systems and conservation of water. So if you're anti-reservoir, you've got to fight for the local residents and the local farmers. They're on your side. Say that in your decision. Argue that local farmers and local residents are against this. They want to focus on sustainability, water conservation, water management. Look back at page 4, talk about fixing leaks, grey water recycling, reducing pollution as ways of meeting the water demand rather than building that reservoir. So who is for the reservoir? Who's in favour of this reservoir? Couldn't you flip the jobs argument saying that the maintenance? Yeah, very smart, Navita. Yeah, you are going to create jobs in the construction of the reservoir. You're going to create jobs in the maintenance of the reservoir. Me. Yeah, I'm going to ask you that in a minute. I'm going to try and use a poll and see how many people are in favour or not in favour of the reservoir. The whole of the southeast of England, yeah. Stop meing me. The main Anglican Water, well done. Anglican Water are going to be in favour. Private water company, their job is to provide water at a cost to the consumer. They're going to sell water. They're going to get profit. They're going to make millions and millions of pounds. Yeah, Anglican Water. UK government would be in favour of it, I'm sure, because it's going to provide water security to the southeast of England where it's needed. Farmers Union, interesting one. The Farmers Union are really interesting because they're very much on the fence with this one. because, oh, it's just that. Here you go. Yeah, the Farmers Union are very much on the fence with this one because they want to protect local farmers from losing their farms, but they do say that the extra water could be used for irrigation and increase crop yields and things like that. Yeah, absolutely. Local business, absolutely. They could benefit massively. Sir, could you talk about counter arguments, or would you reduce the clarity? So usually it depends on what the question is. It depends on what the question is. It might say, to what extent do you think the reservoir should go ahead? Then you could talk about both. It might just say, what are the arguments for developing a new reservoir in Lincolnshire? So you've got to be careful, but you could generally you talk about both sides, the positives and the negatives. Okay. Thanks, guys. Yeah, just keep the chat on, focused on just answering the questions and speaking to each other. Don't spam the chat, guys. Otherwise, it'll get blocked up and we can't use it. Right. So they're your stakeholders. The National Farmer Union, definitely worth a mention. So question 3, make your decision, basically. Should the reservoir in Lincolnshire go ahead is what we think we're probably going to be getting as our question. So that brings me to the end of the section on the reservoir. I do think you've got an amazing DME booklet this year. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm going to ask a couple more things in the chat. I'm trying to get a poll. Let me try and do a poll. Widgets here again. Sorry, my screen seems to be freezing in. Widgets, let's go with that. Will it let me? New poll. Right, I've never done this, guys, before, so hopefully it'll work. If not, you can just hit us up in the chat, guys. Then maybe it's not going to work this. Hit us up in the chat, guys. Oh, wait up. It's just popped up. Should the reservoir in Lincolnshire be built? Okay. I'm just going to put yes. I think it's going to be brilliant because it's going to plug the gap. Let's just see where this is going to go. Start and show. Let's see if this works. I don't know if this is going to work. Are you able to answer that one? I don't know. Has that come up on the live stream? I don't know if that's going to work. Can you vote there? Oh, you can vote. Yes. Nice one, guys. Yeah. So whilst you're putting in your votes, we'll see what the nation is saying. Fantastic. See what the nation's got in hand. A lot of ones. Loads of you. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I never thought it was going to be that overwhelming. 90%. And the votes are still coming in. Yeah. So let's just pick that apart whilst you're voting. The reservoir is a fantastic concept. We've got major water issues because of climate change, rising population, water pollution. We've also got this disparity between where the water is, and we need it in the southeast. It will definitely improve water security. It's a multi-use facility. It'll promote tourism, the multiplier effect in jobs, improve health and social well-being. It is going to be fantastic. It's in a brilliant site. It's in a brilliant site as well. Yeah, I can see why you've picked it. However, let's just throw a little spanner in the works here, guys. Sorry, I think my live stream keeps freezing. If you can write a strong counter argument to why the reservoir should not be developed, you could stand out a little bit more tomorrow. Possibility. Yeah. Obviously, what about sustainable approaches to water conservation? How do you think? Here's a question for you. If you build the reservoir and you increase the supply of water, do you think we're going to reach 110 litres per person by 2050? Or are we going to drive more water use up by building the reservoir? Okay, there's a little bit of food for thought. Okay, what about sustainability? What about grey water? What about fixing the leaks? What about reducing pollution? Yeah. What about water conservation? What about the locals, the impacts on locals? Yeah, all of these counter arguments. But look at that, guys. Overwhelming. Yes, lots of people. Right. I do have a bucket on the booklet. So if you've got the booklet with you, or you've got the booklet near to you, we could do that. Someone with a counter argument. I do think if you've got a very good counter argument, sorry about the lagging, guys. If you've got a very good counter argument, you might do well tomorrow. Block it. Let's go. Yes. So counter argument. It takes a large area of space. Oh, lots of votes still coming in. It takes a large area of space. It could potentially destroy roads and motor. Local area pollution. Yeah. Okay. Right. Let me try and do a block it then. Now, as far as I know, Block It only lets you have 50 players, so we'll see how we get on with this, and see if it's actually possible to do it, because I have got a bit of a internet lag going on at the moment. So let's host this, and then let me know if, in the chat as well, if you'd like me to mention about Fieldwork section. Do you want me to talk about Fieldwork? I know obviously schools do different things with Fieldwork. Do you want me to talk about Fieldwork questions, which is potentially something that I could do? Screen. I can't believe that poll. That is massive. I'm going to close the poll. Well done, guys. Thanks for voting. Right, let's share screen. Block it. Host lobby, yeah. Right, here we go, guys. So hopefully you can see that. Yeah, and let me know in the chat, guys. Do you want me to talk about Fieldwork or potential questions around Fieldwork? Or are you happy just to do that yourself? Because obviously schools do different things with Fieldwork. Okay, so we're doing a race, guys. A race, I like race because it's just a pure skill and knowledge. We're going to find out who the smartest person is on the live stream for sure. The top 3. Stafford is king. Oh, yeah, I don't know who that. Well, I know who that might be. Somebody from, yeah, but I don't know who it is. Yeah, cheers, guys. Appreciate that. So we're going to find out who potentially is the best on the live stream. If you've got your booklet, with you, that might be useful. I am going to switch it to hopefully to full screen now. So I'm going to disappear. The video of me is going to disappear, but I'm still over here. Let me just try and get that on full screen. Let me just go with that one. I'll just go in the bottom corner, hopefully. Down to the bottom corner. Sorry about the lag, guys. I think it's, I don't know if it's my internet. I think it's my internet. It's a bit slow. Okay, so are we ready to, are we all in? 39 in the lobby. Join in. So 41, thanks. I think we get to 50. Fieldwork, please. Yes, please. Cover the basic knowledge of Fieldwork. Yes. So I'll do a little bit on Fieldwork, guys. And then I think we should end the stream and you should go away and revise your Fieldwork for the rest of the evening. Okay. Swat up on your Fieldwork. You might be copyrighting. No, I don't know. I'm not worried about that. Right, I think everybody's in who wants to join in. Are we ready for the race of your life? Gordon, still. Get rid of the poll, please. Oh yeah, let me try and do that. Sorry. How do I get rid of that now? Hide it. Hide. There we go. Let's get rid of me as well. There we go. That's better, isn't it? Right. I'm still here in the background, but we are now. Oh, we can have more than 50. Jump on, guys. Jump on, jump on. Remove the poll, remove the poll. Yeah, we'll do. If you've just joined or recently joined, please like, subscribe, share the video. It really does help the YouTube channel. We don't get paid for this. Your way of saying thank you, hit that like button. That's all you have to do. Okay, here we go, guys. 3, 2, 1. All based on the booklet. Here we go. Best of luck. this book bit. There's some spam goes on and things like that. Right, let's have a look. I feel like I'm going to be commentating on the sports one here. Sharon is in the lead with Fred and OC. Rama, Goat of Jog. Love that name. Goat of Jog. Hello is also doing well. XPL. Ab, what an ab. Yeah, a lot of people. LCFC. K-Gup. Ab. Geo Mash. Reggie. Guest Thoughts. Is in the lead with Sharon Osborne. They're leading the way at the moment. Gordon Ramsey. AK's doing pretty well. Who's this coming up here? OC's playing in there. That is the king. May in there in the mix. Hinde. Matas. Fred there. Dave. Who was that then? Fergie. Is it Fergie? It jumped right up there. Some people are still at the start drowsing. I'm locked in, promised. Yeah. Tomorrow, guys, is all about keeping going right to the end, writing your best answers right to the end. There's so many geographers that don't give it 100% to the end. This paper is a real grade booster if you give quality answers throughout. Someone's reduced the size. Geo Marsh, thanks for that. Questions are based on the DME booklet. Right, let's have a little look. Who is at the lead? We've got some new leaders. Oh, Stafford is the king. Nabiha. Dave 67. Is that 1967? Are you like doing this for a bit of fun? Are you a parent? The Goat of Jog is in the lead with Sharon Osborne, who's lead the way. Yes Thoughts is now in front. Yes Thoughts is on the way. Hello's there in the mix. Imagine Losing is in the mix. Meow's in the mix. K-Gup's still in the mix. Ed's still there. Matas is still there. Nabir is still there. Lena's coming up. May's also in there. Hi's in there. Anna's in there. Ava's in there as well. Potato coming up. Rabbit is in there. Haley. Mike. Who the heck is that? Man, it's got up on the board. Vinny's in there. Lots of people joining in late. This is Fred, Jet. Yeah, you're in it as well, man. Goat of Geography still in there at the front. Hello's in there. Edge is in there. This is so close to call. Who would be the greatest on Lincolnshire Reservoir? This is how they should decide your grades, though. That'd be good, wouldn't it? If you're on the podium, you get a grade 9. Do it for a bucket. Way more fun. There's been some absolutely fantastic answers today on the live stream. Link to the booklet. We are close to the winners. I don't know if 30 questions was a bit too many. I don't know. You're not getting bored, are you? Hopefully you're not. Still join in. The code's at the top if you want to join in. So, in the lead, Dave 67. Well, Sharon Osborne, you just shot right back there. I don't know what's happened there. Fred, May, hello. You're all pretty much in the lead. Veggie, Goat of Geography, Lena, Anna, Nick Scale. Who's this? So the lead at the moment is Shamzino. Shamzino is currently leading the first. Oh no, what's happened? Gone backwards. Sharon Osborne is back in the lead with Dave 67 with hello, with Abs, with Sergei. We've got thoughts of you. Let's get Steve right up. Stafford is the king. Nadia, Jabbers is in there. Meow's in there. Oh, this is too close to call. Dave, Fred, Veggie, hello. All at the front at the moment. Sergey is in there as well. Currently, Sharon Osborne is back in the lead with Dave 67. Oh my God, this is Lena. Stafford is the king has just covered everybody up. Jet is also in there. So we'll reduce the sound. It's getting too intense now. I do love this. Who's this? Veggie's coming right through. Oh, we have a winner. In second place is Dave 67. Lena is in second place. And our winner of tonight's live stream, Veggie. Yes. Hey, well done. Does that mean you get a grade 9 tomorrow? I don't know. Maybe it does. I was 5 away. Unlucky. That sounds like I was been. It was a very close race. That was a very close race. Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of our bucket and go back to the full screen. Let's just remove that one. Remove our bucket. There is, by the way, that background there. That is a artist's impression of the reservoir. Look at that. It does look stunning, doesn't it? It does. You can see the wetland habitat there to the right. You can also see the footpath for walking. It does look. I am impressed with the design. I am really impressed. Oops, gone to full camera there. Sorry about the glitchy internet at the moment. Right, fieldwork then, guys. I'm so tired. I want to sleep. Yeah. Okay. Do people want me to do fieldwork? Hit me up with a yes or a no. I can stay on for maybe another 15 minutes or so. I don't want to keep you too long because obviously I would recommend you go away and look at your fieldwork revision. Let's go to yes. Okay. I will stay. If you have to go, guys, yeah, I appreciate you being here. Hit that like and subscribe. Just say thank you. So here we go. Let's have a look at fieldwork then. Let me just present this. Hopefully I can present the screen. Oh, it's gone a bit laggy here. Well, it's been laggy all night, hasn't it, guys? I think Sir needs to upgrade his internet. It's got something. It's like I've got cheap internet. Share screen. Right, here we go. I've put a few little bits and bobs on here. So is that shared? Hopefully that's shared with you guys now. Let me just zoom in. This is my little. Oh, that's not zooming in, is it? Zoom in. Okay. So question four of the exam is about unseen fieldwork. So things you might be asked are, what is primary data and secondary data? Yeah. So can you, in the chat, guys, what's the difference between primary data and secondary data? Let us know. So you need to know the difference between your data. What's the difference between primary data and secondary data? Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, lots of correct answers here in the chat. So primary data is data you collect yourself through fieldwork, and it's clearly addressing a title or a question that you've come up with. Secondary data is data that's collected for another purpose, using maybe internet newspapers and things like that. And it allows you to collect a broad range of data very quickly, has many advantages. So things like census data, crime data, house price data, they're all examples of secondary data. Okay. Let's go on to another one, sampling types. Okay. So what is the difference between the following sampling types? Random sampling, systematic sampling, systematic sampling, and stratified sampling. Okay, so geographers use sampling in order to avoid bias and increase validity. What's the difference between random, systematic, and stratified? We also do have opportunistic sampling, as well. Do you know your different sampling types? My little typos here. Terrible. There you go. Opportunistic sampling. What is the difference between those? I don't know. Yeah, okay. So just very quickly then, random sampling is where you would use a random number generator to create your sample. Yeah, so you would number the streets, you might number areas on a map, and then you'd use a random number generator to pick where you went and did your data collection. You might number areas of a river and then roll spin a random number generator, and that picks your area. It's non-biased and it creates often valid fieldwork results. Systematic is you apply a rule, okay, which might be every 5 meters we're going to measure something, every 10th house, we're going to survey. You apply a rule to measuring your data. Every like halfway, a quarter of the way, 3/4 of the way across a river is an example of systematic sampling. Again, avoids bias and it's increases validity. These are the two key things that you need to say about sampling. Avoids bias and increases validity. Stratified sampling is where you apply knowledge to sampling, to selecting areas. Let me give you an example of that. You could look at the census data. Yeah, you look at the census data. Okay, no, let me just go for different. You might look at house price data. Yeah, and then based on that, you select an area with low house prices because you want to do a comparison, and an area of high house prices. Yeah. To compare what quality of life is like in those areas. High house prices. Okay, so you use pre-existing data, maybe on population or on house prices or anything like that, and that is how you select your sample. Opportunistic sampling is often used in things like questionnaires, where there is an opportunity to survey someone, somebody who is sitting down, someone who's waiting around. Maybe you could have the opportunity to speak to those people. It does tend to be quite biased. Okay, so sampling types are something that you could be asked about in this particular section. Okay, right, let's ask about something else. So when might you use the following? So I'm going to give you a scenario. You're going to tell me which graph to use in the chat. So what graph should I use for a survey based on the percentages of people that like geography? What graph could you use to present the percentage of people that like geography? Let us know in the chat. Which graph would you use to present percentages, opinions, things like that? Yeah. Correct answer. Well done. Is a pie chart. Well done. So if you present in percentages, Show it on a pie chart. It's the best one. Okay. What graph would you use for presenting discrete data or data in categories? So for example, you might, for example, your traffic count. So for a traffic count, you've got car, bus, lorry. Yeah. What graph would you use for discrete data, which is categories of data? Hit us up in the chat. People saying bar chart, divided bar chart, bar chart, bar chart. Yeah. So percentage data, we use pie charts. Yeah. Good. Discrete data or data in categories, we would use you could use a bar chart, okay? Or you could use a histogram, something like that. Or bar chart is the main answer, okay? Right, let's go for the next one then. Continuous data. So continuous data, which is things like time or distance. What graph should you use for continuous data, such as time and distance? What graph would you use for continuous data, time and distance? When would you opt for a divided bar chart, sir? You could use a divided bar chart for traffic counts, yeah, as long as it's a percentage. So you could use, maybe here we can put pie charts or divided bar charts. Hold on. If you've got percentages of something, you could put it into a divided bar chart. That would be a good one. Who asked that? That's quite smart, actually. That's a smart question. Yeah. Andre, well done. Good. Line graph, line graph, line graph, line graph. Yeah. So here you would either use a line graph or scatter graph. Okay. They're the most appropriate ones to show. Okay, so you might get a question tomorrow about how you presented your fieldwork results. What data presentation method did you use to present your results? So let's just do a general answer. Why do geographers use graphs? What is the purpose of presenting data on graphs? Hit us up in the chat. What is the purpose of presenting data in geography? So I'm going to put here, purpose of data presentation. So whether you use the pie chart, a bar graph, a line graph, what's the purpose? What's the point of presenting data on graphs? What does it allow you to do? Okay, well done. So it allows us to interpret that data. It allows us to look for patterns and trends in the data. Yeah, good. It allows us to have comparison of data. Yeah. Comparison of data sets. Good. What else does it do? Interpret patterns. Yeah. Yeah. Easy to read. That is also on the mark scheme. Easy to read/interpret. Okay. Absolutely. Oops. Interpret. Good. What else does it allow us to do? Makes it clear. Okay, I'm going to add one for you guys here. It allows us to identify anomalies or outliers. Anomalies or outliers. Okay, so it allows us to spot data that's not in the general trend of the data that you've got. The outliers, the anomalies. This guy's webcam is running. Yeah, it is. My internet is so slow. Sorry on the internet there. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Yeah. Hopefully the sound is okay. That's the main thing. So that's the purpose of data presentation. Good. All right. Right. What are the different types of maps that we can use in geography? Let's try and have a quick brainstorm of those. What are the different ways in which we can present data on maps? What are the different maps that we have in geography? Maps for data presentation. We use maps for spatial variations in data. So we're looking for spatial patterns in data. This is why we use maps. What different types of maps do we have for presenting data? Okay, so we have choropleth map. Yeah, a choropleth map where we've got different colors. The depth of the color represents a higher number. If the color's darker, there is more of it. If the color's lighter, there is less of it. Okay, so graded color. Desire line. Yeah, a desire line is like, I'm going to say Ryanair. So if you've been on a flight, it shows you where the flights go to. So it shows you the airport, let's just say London Heathrow, and it shows where the flights in Europe will go to. That's a desire line. It's used to show where people travel from and where people travel to. So desire line, good. Any other types of maps? Where's your cup of tea? My cup of tea's here. I've probably frozen on the camera by the looks of it. Okay, other types of maps. Let's have a little look. We have isoline maps, which join points of equal value. So that's another type of map. What else have we got? We have flow line maps as well. Flow line maps, which shows the amount of something in a particular direction. So if there's 10 people coming from this place, your arrows would be wider. They're proportional maps, proportional arrows. Yeah. So they're quite common maps in geography. What else have we got? We've got dot maps, where you would put a dot where something is or a piece of data. Okay. So they're the main types of maps that you would use in geography, especially in your geography fieldwork. They could be there as well. So I'm going to, that's kind of the main things for unseen fieldwork. All right, let's just move on to your fieldwork now. Okay, so I'm going to kind of give you a little checklist of things that you're going to have to know for tomorrow. And then you might want to go away and swat up in the next, I would recommend you go away and swat up in the next few hours that you've got. So what you're going to need to know tomorrow, you're definitely going to need to know the titles of your physical and human fieldwork. Yeah, what did you do? What did you measure with your school? It's really important that you know that. They're going to ask you that, okay? They may ask you tomorrow the location that you went to and the advantages of your chosen fieldwork location. So usually things like it's close to school, it's accessible by road, it matched the aims of the investigation. Yeah, for example, there's if I'm looking at changes down a river, the place that we chose, we were able to look at different sections of the river, and that matched the aims of our project. Okay. They're the kind of key things that you might talk about in terms of location. Okay, other things you definitely need to know at least one method of data collection, or what they call methodology. Yeah. So make sure you know at least one of your methods that you collected. This could be, if you did rivers, you might talk about how you measured river velocity. Yeah. You might talk about how you did an environmental quality survey. What do you do in an environmental quality survey? Okay. You can talk about maybe your questionnaire, EQS. Every geography case. stage. Hello. Am I here? No. No. Oh my God. What's going on? What's going on, guys? What's going on? Am I back? Am I here? Yes. Yes. Oh my God. Oh, I think AQA have tried to block the feed. I don't know what's going on. Yes. Nice one, guys. Sorry about that. I don't know what was going on there. Thank you for all the love. Thank you for hanging around. We're back. Right. Okay. Let me just try and get back onto the fire that we're doing. You guys are an awesome crowd. Appreciate you hanging around. Let me just try and go back to this here. Okay. I don't know what happened there. I think the gods of AQA are trying to stop the feed. I don't know. I'm making up. Okay, so where did I get to? You need to know one method of data collection. This should be for your physical and human. How did you collect your data? Okay. You might also want to think his webcam is even better now. Oh, that's good. I'll tell you what, guys, this stream, crazy. Okay, how did you collect your data? Okay. That's a type of question that comes up every single year. What data did you collect? How did you collect that method of data? So make sure you know that. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. You guys are creasing his webcam. You guys are creasing me up here. I can't focus now. We see you in such clarity. Thanks, guys. I don't know what's going on. What the hell was going on there? But that's brilliant. Okay. Oh dear. If you come to revise geography, I'm not sure that this is the live stream for you now. Right, let's lock in. Let's lock back in. One method of data collection. Okay. We are thinking tomorrow that data presentation method could be on there. Data presentation method for your fieldwork results. Okay. So a data presentation method that you've used. So you may have used bar graphs, you may have used scatter graphs. So my geographers have used scatter graphs to present their data. So a form of data presentation that you've used. And some people or some teachers are saying for your physical fieldwork. So how did you present your results in your physical fieldwork? What did you use? What data presentation methods did you use to present your physical fieldwork? Okay. Mine was rivers. Rivers, good. Yeah, rivers is the most popular study, I think. Changes to a river downstream, most popular study. What else could be on tomorrow is your conclusions. Yeah. What did you find out about your study? Yeah. What were your results? Yeah. What were your findings? What were your findings or results? There we go. A joke. Yeah, it is a joke, mate. I'm telling you. What were your findings? What were your findings? Yeah. What were your results? Okay. So what were your findings? What were your results of your study? That could be very much a question tomorrow. What were the results of your research? Okay, all of those things could be there. And then you get a 9 marker, which is usually you can choose between your physical or human fieldwork. So whichever one you're best at, guys, go with that. Between your physical and human fieldwork. And it's usually evaluation. Okay, evaluate your fieldwork study along the lines of that. What were the strengths of your research? So common strengths are it met the aims. Yeah, it met the aims of the research. The research. You might refer to the success of a method, like how you collected your data and how accurate that was. You could say that was successful. You could talk about things like the results that you obtained. You're very happy with the results you obtained. It helped to prove your hypothesis. Yeah, the results that you obtain from your fieldwork help to prove your hypothesis. All of those things could be potential strengths. And then weaknesses of your research. These are just general things. Obviously, the more specific you are, the better. Okay. Weaknesses could be a method that you've used that might be biased. Okay. Because of your sampling type. Yeah. Possibly. Maybe some of your data was subjective or opinion based. Subjective or opinion. Relying on opinions. So they vary between different people. It's things like environmental quality surveys can be very subjective. What you think in terms of litter, noise, quality of street is different to what other people think. So that's usually a weakness of any research. Maybe your sample size was too small. Yeah. Could be a possibility. Maybe you need to go potentially to new locations to investigate because you want to extend that research into other areas of a river, as well as different parts of a city, potentially new locations. But again, be specific. Yeah, name areas, name streets and things like that as much as you can. Name places. You might recommend new equipment in this area. So you could say, right, okay, we could use a new equipment. So such as a flow meter to measure discharge of a river. Yeah, maybe you didn't use a digital flow meter would help improve a study on rivers because it provides greater accuracy. So for greater accuracy of your data collection. Okay, maybe you could recommend further secondary data that you could have used. Recommend secondary data that you didn't use that you could have used, such as maybe the census data of 2021 on population. You could have maybe recommend, I want to use crime data to further develop this study. Or maybe if you're doing a human study, index of multiple deprivation data. Multiple deprivation. So if you're doing about quality of life, if you've got a quality of life study, you might use multiple deprivation data to measure quality of life. Okay. So all of these things could be in your evaluation. It's usually the 9-mark question. What went well with your study? What could you improve? These are kind of general things that are here. Obviously, if you're going for level 3 tomorrow, if you're trying to get a grade 9, you have to be specific. Okay. What equipment would you use that you didn't use? How would you measure it? What sampling type would you use instead? That's a big one, guys. If you can recommend an alternative sampling approach, you're going to be in top band. Yeah. So if you've used random sampling, but you think you should have used systematic, again, that's going to be like top band geography for this particular section. But being specific. Okay. And I'm going to put something here. Avoid more of the same. Yeah. If you say, okay, to improve my study, I would do 5 traffic counts instead of 3. You're not going to get very high marks for that. If you're just going to do more of the same, that's not very strategic, evaluative, reflective thinking. What you could say is, I'm going to do more traffic counts in these streets because these streets have different, characteristics, i.e. one's a motorway, one's an A road, one's a B road, and that's why I would pick those areas. So you've got to say specifically what you would do to improve the study, to increase the validity of the results. Yeah, increase the validity of the results and the quality of the results as well. Okay. Last little bit of things that you might be asked tomorrow. I'm just going to drop it in here, actually. They might ask, some people are saying that they might ask about theory. What theory were you testing? Okay. What was the theory behind your research. So, for example, most people do rivers, and you might be looking at the Bradshaw model to changes down a river, changes to a river downstream. Okay, and what Bradshaw says in his model is that rivers get wider, they get deeper, they increase in velocity, and things like that. And this is all due to erosional processes. Yeah. So the river gets wider because of erosional processes of hydraulic action, abrasion, attrition. The river gets deeper because of the same processes. The river flows faster because the river's deeper and it has a higher volume of water. So what was the theory that you were testing in your field work as well? Okay, it's well worth looking at what did you expect to find when you were doing your research. Okay. Okay, so I am going to start to wrap it up, guys. There's 129 of you, 130 geographers. Absolutely awesome. Thank you so much, guys. I am going to leave it there. So what to do now? I would focus now the next hour just learning your field work. I think you've got this in the bag. If you've missed the early bits of the live stream, check out the earlier section of this live stream after it's finished. Well worth a watch, I'm guessing. Please send us some love in the chat. Also, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you're doing A-level geography, we are going to do A-level content on the channel as well in the future. So please, subscribe for that as well. Best of luck tomorrow. You're going to be amazing. You're going to be amazing. Let us know how you get on. Comment after the video. That'd be really good. And my top tip tomorrow, be passionate when you write about the reservoir. Yeah, you're making a real decision on a real global or national issue in the UK. Yeah, write like your decision makes a difference. And don't forget to talk about sustainability. Everything in geography links to sustainability. Make sure you use that word sustainability. Passion and sustainability, yeah, is going to be key. Don't forget to mention the stakeholders, Anglican Water, locals, National Farmers Union. That will get you huge marks as well. Okay. Thank you to everybody who's been so kind in the chat. Really appreciate it. Best of luck tomorrow. Go and smash it, guys. Get that grade 9. And I'll see you in the next one. All the best. Take care. Have a good one tomorrow. Enjoy it.